So in recognition of the new opportunity for San Francisco State master students to do their third semester abroad at the University of Pavia in Italy, we are talking to Dr. Siegel, who was there in 2002. And he's going to explain a little bit about his experience there.
Right. So in 2002, I had the opportunity to attend a short summer school on the comparative politics of the welfare state. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, the welfare state means all of the social benefits that a state provides its people. So, for example, unemployment insurance, pensions, health care, unemployment, I don't know if I said unemployment insurance, family leave policy, disability, all the types of benefits that one gets in order to survive outside the market, and also, of course, on the other side of the equation, it's taxation and taxation to support it. And I was selected to go with a bunch of other graduate students from all over the country and all over Europe to learn more and study more about the welfare state. And we spent 2 weeks there. I lived in the dormitories of the University of Pavia and shared a room, and it was a wonderful time. And I got to meet really interesting students, all doing different types of research, and also met some interesting professors who are doing amazing research who helped advise me on my own research while I was there.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the professors?
Yeah, the professors are some of the best in all of Italy, if not Europe and the United States. They are generally really, really experts in their fields. They tend to specialize in maybe particular areas like social welfare assistance and social policy. That's who I knew. But Pavia is one of the oldest universities in all of Italy. And I'm sure that they have experts in international relations and others. So Pavia is like one of the most elite universities in all of Italy, like next to Bologna or what else, like Milan or some other places there.
And what is Pavia like as a place to stay?
Pavia is a really beautiful, tiny Italian town. So it is. It is not like, it is about 30 minutes south of Milan, and it is a town that's surrounded by a river, and it has all the wonderful things of a small Italian town. Wonderful little cafes and restaurants. In fact, I say like one of the best meals I ever had in my life was at a restaurant outside Pavia called Trattoria Ferrari, and if you go to Pavia, you can go eat there. And it is a place where you can sit on the square and watch people go by. You're not distracted. It's really quiet and kind of a place where you can focus and meet and talk to people. And it's a nice little town. But if you need like the big city life, it's only 30 minutes away from Milan.
And how is studying European issues in Europe different from just studying them at a U.S. university?
I think there are a lot of advantages to studying Europe in Europe as opposed to the United States. The first thing is just access to experts, just access to more people who have studied European politics all their lives. The second thing would be resources. I mean, resources in terms, of course, like as simple as like a library that has, stuff that's published by Europeans, to actually like going out and interviewing people and doing research on your own. Like if you were interested in far-right parties in Italy, you can actually travel 20-30 minutes by train and start talking to people who vote for far-right parties. You will be able to have access to media so that you couldn't get here in the States at all, or it would be really expensive and really slow. I mean, yeah, there is the internet, but most Italians still read newspapers. Like the internet hasn't penetrated Italian society as much as other European countries. And so you can actually collect newspapers and articles and magazines and just interview people and talk to people and ask them how they feel and about politics today. And you have access to original documents. Like once you arrive in Italy, if if you're studying Italy, of course you can visit government offices and so forth, but you're only a short plane and cheap plane ride away from Brussels or Berlin or Paris, where you can do additional research. So once you land in Pavia, you can do research in any other European country. You're only maybe a short plane ride away from Central and Eastern Europe, where maybe there are questions that you're interested in studying there. So there are a lot of reasons why it's very advantageous to study in Pavia.
And what would be your advice to students who are thinking of doing their third semester, their master's program in Pavia?
I think that if you're going to do it, have a clear purpose in mind. Although it's fun to be in Italy, you don't want to sit in a cafe all your time there. You really want to have a clear idea why you're going to Pavia. And so when you contact professors, you know what your thesis is or what your purpose is, and they will be more than happy to help you. Or you don't have a lot of time, so if you want to do research, if you know exactly what your thesis is and how you're going to collect your data, then you can get to it right away. So while Pavia is really nice, you also realize you're there to work and make sure that you have a clear idea why you need to go to Pavia before you fill out the application.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.